Hello, it's Susie again from Esoteric Trading Solutions. Just want to make this a really fast one. This is probably the quickest video I've ever done. But Ripple's the best digital asset for payment systems out there. And if you compare it to any of the other technology that I've looked at, it is the fastest and the best. If we compare Ripple per transaction scalability, they can do 1,500 transactions per second. Basically, the cost is 0.0004. Again, if you compare it to Bitcoin, it takes, on a good day, Bitcoin 45 minutes for one transaction, costs $1.88 on a good day. As you know, Steam got rid of Bitcoin because it's costing them too much money in terms of transaction fees, something like $20. Transactions per second, this is what this says, 16, but I find that hard to believe because Bitcoin is getting longer and longer because they have the mining issue. The mining issue, the four major miners out of China are basically, taking more and more time to mine Bitcoin coins, and Ethereum also uses the same miners. That's why Ethereum want to change their technology as well from proof of work, I think, to proof of source. But the reality is it just takes forever to get any transactions done through Bitcoin. Ethereum's a little bit fast, but not much. And they can't cope with it. Also, don't forget you've got other coins out there that are bidding for the miners' capabilities in terms of their technology and in terms of their systems and their graphic cards and their ASIC systems for artificial intelligence. As I said, Neuromation are basically wanting to pay the miners more than what Bitcoin and Ethereum pay, which they pay the miners about $7 to $8 a day. Neuromation wants to pay the miners more so that they can get availability in terms of their computer processing power, the computer processing needs, so that they can actually run their artificial intelligence programs. Also, there's been a lot of information about the cost to mine via Bitcoin. Apparently, Bitcoin currently at the moment uses something like 6 houses for the cost of mining in a week, 6 houses for electricity and the cost of mining for a week, and it's getting more and more expensive. If you look at Bitcoin Cash, again, which was a fork, supposed to be an improvement, but again, it still takes 60 minutes for the speed of one transaction, which is a long time. If you're waiting in a shop and you're trying to get something done, you're not going to wait for 60 minutes for something to be done. Let's put it that way. If you're buying something, you're not going to wait for 60 minutes for that transaction to go through. Cost is cheaper, 0.21. But again, these guys will still use miners. They don't have their own miners. They have the same miners and they're on the same distributed ledger. So every time the ledger gets mined, all the whole history of that distributed ledger has to come forward as well, and it does take time. Scalability, again, really low on the scalability. That's just not going to cut it in the world of finance or the real world where people go out and shop. They're not going to wait for 60 minutes or even 4.5 minutes or 45 minutes to do a transaction. Dash, which, the coin's over $930 or something, 15 minutes, 39, 10 transactions per second. Yes, you'll say to me it's supposed to be a privacy coin, but the reality is it's not a privacy coin because the Federal Reserve and the Internal Revenue Services and the SEC, all in the US, can trace who holds Dash coins. If someone owes tax, effectively they know who the coin holders are. And like with Monero, they also know who the coin holders are. So they have technology to unwind their scramble system, which is supposed to provide privacy, and they work out who actually holds the coins. So again, Dash, from a transactional point of view, no one's going to wait 15 minutes either. Even though I do like Litecoin, Litecoin has its own miners, different miners compared to Bitcoin and Ethereum. It has gone up a lot, and its cost is much more reduced. But look at the cost of Ripple. This is what I'm saying. Ripple can do stuff so cheaply compared to anyone. And again, look at the scalability of Ripple compared to anyone. This is why the banks, the institutions and the banks at a wholesale level are going to use Ripple. In the FX market, as I said, in the FX market, if you do foreign currency in the foreign exchange market, you're going to have a 3 there, not a 0.04. 10 basis points more, it's just so costly. And the fact the speed is so quick and the scalability is so fast, it's just amazing. Now, Ripple's got Amex account, they can eventually have, a lot of other types of credit card type of accounts as well, because the reality is Amex now has competitive advantage. So I still think Ripple in the 50s is still 50 cents is still too cheap. So that's my view. But when you look at the technology's there, regardless of their client base and their revenue base, they compete on technology alone, absolutely. And I just have no idea why this coin is so cheap. Apart from everyone saying, yes, there's a lot on issuance. I don't give a crap about that, because the banks will use those coins on issuance without a problem, and they'll hold them in their portfolios. And those coins, like in the equity market, those coins will not see the light of day. What you have in the equity market, an issuer will issue, say, 100 million of equity, and half of that equity will sit in portfolio managers or banks' portfolios, never to see the market again. So if anything, the circulating issue of equity would be, say, 50 mil rather than 100 mil, because the rest of it never comes out. It stays in the portfolio, as a source of value, something that's going to keep going up. And that's my view of Ripple, pretty much. Anyway, guys, just a really quick one. I hope you're all well, and have a look at this and tell me what you think. Cheers.